Have you ever met someone, just once, and couldn't forget them? Not their name, not their voice, just a look, a smile, a moment that stayed, like a whisper, etched onto your soul. That's what happened to Ryan. It was just an ordinary Monday, subway, 6:42 a.m. Crowded, grey, suffocating as always. But that morning, something changed. She stepped onto the train, and in a heartbeat, everything he thought he knew about loneliness vanished. He didn't know her name, didn't know where she was going. He just knew he had to find her again. Ryan lived in a city that never slept. People rushed like ants in every direction, chasing time, chasing paychecks, chasing meaning. But Ryan moved slowly. He was 27, a graphic designer for an ad agency, lived alone in a compact apartment that echoed when he sighed too loudly. Mornings were robotic. Wake up at 5:45, toast, 2 eggs, coffee, always black, tie shoes. Out the door by 6:25, on the platform by 6:40. He liked the routine. It kept things predictable, safe. But safe can also mean empty. The subway screeched to a halt. Doors slid, open like yawns. Ryan stepped in, as usual. Headphones in, music low. Just another morning. He found his usual seat, by the second pole, third car from the front, and then she walked in. Bright red scarf, headphones too, reading a book, something with a green cover. She didn't look up. Not at first. She stood across from him, gripping the overhead bar, swaying slightly with the motion of the train, and then their eyes met. Just for a second, but long enough. Her eyes were deep, like late autumn afternoons, calm, warm, and mysterious. She smiled faintly. He felt his heart skip, not in a cheesy rom-com way, but like it remembered something it had never known before. He quickly looked down, flustered. What just happened? 11 stops. That's all they shared. She read. He watched. Their eyes met again at every stop. She smiled wider the third time. He thought of saying something. Anything. Nice book? No. Too cheesy. Hey, I like your scarf. No. Weird. He cursed himself. The train neared Midtown 23rd. She reached up, pulled the string to signal the stop. No, 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 no. The doors opened. She stepped off. And just before the doors closed, she turned. Their eyes met one last time. She smiled and was gone. The train kept moving. Ryan didn't. He sat there, frozen, like the entire world had paused, just long enough for him to realize. He missed it. He missed her. He didn't even know her name, but somehow her absence felt louder than the whole train. All day he couldn't focus. Her image replayed in his mind on loop. That red scarf, that faint smile, that book with the green cover. Was it a novel? Poetry? He kept thinking, what if I had just said hello? The next morning, Ryan took the train again. Same time, same seat. He waited, but she wasn't there. The next day, again, nothing. A week passed, then 2. He started getting up earlier, took different trains, later trains, earlier ones, still, nothing. But he didn't give up. He couldn't. Something inside told him this wasn't just a crush. It wasn't obsession. It was instinct. Like the universe had whispered, that's her, and he wasn't about to ignore it. 2 weeks after that ride, Ryan did something unthinkable. He made a flyer. Yes, a real one. Have you seen this girl? Underneath, he sketched her face from memory. It wasn't perfect, but it was close. The red scarf, the book, the smile. He posted it on subway walls, on lampposts near Midtown 23rd, at local cafes and bookstores. People stared. Some laughed. Others thought it was a marketing stunt. But a few, they got it. They saw the hope in his eyes. One day, an old man tapped Ryan's shoulder at the station. "I've been riding this train for 40 years. Never seen anything like that flyer," he said. Ryan nodded, unsure what to say. The man smiled. "She must be someone worth finding." "She is," Ryan whispered. Another woman saw the flyer and told him she might have seen someone matching that description, a bookstore near 9th Avenue. He ran there, but no luck. The woman behind the counter shook her head. "No one like that here. Sorry." Ryan thanked her anyway. Each clue, each whisper, each dead end, it only made him want to try harder. One evening, after another day of fruitless searching, Ryan sat in a corner cafe. The flyer sat on the table in front of him. A little girl walked by and pointed. "Mommy, look! That's the subway girl." Ryan's heart leapt. The mother looked flustered. "I'm sorry. She watches too many cartoons." But the little girl insisted. "She showed me a drawing once. She's in that art place. Near the park." "Art place?" Ryan stood. "Where exactly?" The girl grinned. "The place with the big windows." He knew where she meant. A tiny art gallery, tucked away near 22nd. Some people chase careers. Some chase dreams. Ryan was chasing a memory. But to him, it wasn't just a memory. It was a promise he hadn't spoken out loud. And now there was a clue. An art gallery, near the park. The place with the big windows. The next morning, Ryan stood outside a quiet brick building with Studio Solis etched in cursive on the frosted glass. The gallery smelled like old books and new beginnings. Paintings hung from every wall, portraits, cityscapes, abstract forms, each more expressive than the last. He wandered through the space slowly, eyes scanning everything, and then he saw it. His breath caught. It was her, painted beautifully, frozen in a moment, reading a book on a crowded subway car. Red scarf flowing gently. Eyes soft, distant, the plaque read, "The Girl in Transit," by Mia Langford. That's when he heard a voice behind him. "You know her?" Ryan turned. A woman in her 30s stood there. Short hair, paint-splattered jeans, warm eyes. I think I do," he said. "Or maybe I don't. I only saw her once." Mia smiled. "That's all I saw her for too. Just once. I was sketching. In my notebook. She stood across from me. I couldn't get her out of my head." "Did you talk to her?" Ryan asked. Mia shook her head. "No, but she had this energy. I had to capture it." Ryan pulled out the flyer from his coat pocket. Mia's eyes widened. "You drew this?" He nodded. "You're not crazy," she said, smiling. "You're an artist too." Mia led him to a small back room, filled with supplies, canvases, and more. "Sketches. She came in here once," Mia said. "I don't know her well, just..." She was looking at the paintings. "Told me she liked the way I use silence." "Silence?" Ryan asked. "Yeah, the way I paint moments that feel quiet." I asked her name. Ryan's heart pounded. She said, "Leah, Leah." Finally, a name. Real, tangible. Mia smiled. "You know, I think she was searching for something too." Ryan blinked. "Do you know how to reach her?" Mia hesitated. "No, but she mentioned she liked the old bookstore near 8th and Belmore." Ryan sprinted down the street, past people and horns and life. He didn't care. The bookstore Mia mentioned was tucked between a plant shop and a record store. The sign read, "Bell and Thorn Books." A brass bell jingled as he stepped inside. It smelled of lavender and old paper. "Can I help you?" An elderly woman behind the counter asked. "I'm looking for someone named Leah," he said, out of breath. "She comes here sometimes, reads, maybe wears a red scarf." The woman's face softened. "She comes in weekly. Sweet girl. Quiet. Always reads. Poetry. Do you know when she's coming next?" "Fridays," she said. "Always Fridays around 5. It was Tuesday. 3 days never felt longer. Ryan spent them preparing. He revisited every place he'd searched, just in case. He cleaned up his apartment, shaved, picked out the best of his 3 jackets. Friday arrived, 4:30 p.m. He was already in the bookstore. The seconds ticked like hours. 5, 5, 5, 10. 5:22. The bell jingled. She walked in. Same red scarf. Same quiet grace. Same presence. She didn't see him. She walked past him, heading toward the poetry section. Ryan stood still, heart beating in his throat. Should he speak? Tap her shoulder? What, if she didn't remember? What if this was just his fantasy? Then she turned. Their eyes met, and in that moment, he knew. So did she. "Hi," Ryan said softly. She smiled. "Hi. I don't know if you remember me. The subway. A few weeks ago." Her smile grew. "I do. I've been trying to find you." "I know," she said. "I saw one of your flyers, the one near the cafe on 5th. Ryan's eyes widened. "Why didn't you?" "I was scared," she said. "It felt like a dream. I didn't think you'd actually still be looking." He took a breath. "I couldn't forget you. I didn't want to forget you either," she said, and just like that, the air between them changed. It felt like something that had always existed had just found its way home. They walked together for hours after that, talked about books, art, their childhoods. Her name was Leah, 26, kindergarten teacher, loved street photography, hated Mondays. He told her everything: the train ride, the flyers, the missed chances, Mia's painting. Leah laughed, covering her mouth. "You did all that?" He nodded. "I thought I was the crazy one," she said. "I switched subway lines trying to see you again." They stood at the crosswalk. Neither moved. He looked at her. "Would you like to get dinner?" "I'd love that," she said. It didn't take much. Not a grand gesture. Not some magical coincidence. Just the courage to say hello and the willingness to believe that love, real love, was worth searching for. Love doesn't always come crashing in. Sometimes it tiptoes. Sometimes it lingers at the edge of what could be. For Ryan and Leah, it started with a glance on the subway, and now it bloomed in small, honest moments. They picked a small Italian bistro on 12th Avenue. Tiny lights strung across the ceiling, the smell of garlic and rosemary in the air. Ryan sat across from Leah, still half believing this was real. Leah played with the corner of the menu. "I almost didn't come to the bookstore that day," she said. He smiled. "I almost gave up looking." They laughed. Somehow it felt easy, like something that had been waiting for years to happen. They talked for hours, shared their favorite movies, childhood dreams, what scared them, what made them feel alive. The end of dinner, the restaurant had emptied. The waiter was stacking chairs. "I don't want this night to end," Leah whispered. Ryan reached across the table and took her hand. "It doesn't have to." Outside, it had started to snow. Light flakes dusted the sidewalks like powdered sugar. They walked slowly, no destination, no hurry. Leah looked up at the sky, then back at him. "Do you believe in fate?" she asked. "I didn't," Ryan said. "Not until now," she smiled, but it flickered. He noticed. "What?" he asked gently. "I want to tell you something," she said. "But I don't want to ruin this. Whatever it is, it won't," he promised. She paused, as if choosing the right words. But then, her phone buzzed. She glanced at it. Her expression changed. I have to go," she said quickly. "I'm sorry." And just like that, she was gone. For 3 days, nothing. No texts, no calls, just silence. Ryan went back to the bookstore. No sign of her. He stopped by the gallery. Mia hadn't seen her either. He was back where he started, wondering if she'd been a dream. Then, his phone lit up. A message from Leah. "Can we meet tomorrow? Same place, 7 p.m. They met at the same bistro. She wore the red scarf again, but her eyes were different, softer, sadder. "I'm sorry I disappeared," she said. "There's something you need to know." Ryan leaned in. "Whatever it is, I want to hear it." Leah took a breath. "I'm engaged." The words hit him like a truck. "Engaged? To someone I don't love," she continued. "It's an arranged thing. My parents, they're traditional. He's a family friend, stable, safe." "Do you love him?" Ryan asked, his voice barely a whisper. She shook her head. "No, but I was supposed to marry him in 2 months. Until I met you." Silence. "I don't want a life built on obligation," she said. "I want something that feels like this." Ryan looked at her. "I don't want to be a secret," he said. "But I don't want to lose you either." "I don't want to be someone's duty," she whispered. "I want to be someone's choice." They decided to take a break, not because they didn't care, but because sometimes love means letting someone figure out who they are. Ryan waited and waited. Weeks passed. Then one day, he got another message from Leah. "Meet me at the subway. Same car. 4:15 p.m. tomorrow." The train pulled in. Ryan stepped on. Same car, same pole. He waited. Then she entered, red scarf, tears in her eyes, a bag slung over her shoulder. She walked to him. "I left," she said. "I told my parents. I broke the engagement." Ryan stood, frozen. "I don't know what happens next," she said, "but I know I want it to be with you." He reached for her hand. "I've been waiting for this moment." And then, the train moved. Together, they stood, side by side, like they had all along. Sometimes the universe whispers. Sometimes it shouts. But if you listen closely, love always leaves clues. Even in the screech of a subway, even in silence, love stories don't end at "I choose you." That's just the beginning. What follows is the real story. After Leah left her arranged engagement, she didn't go home. She moved into a small studio apartment in Brooklyn. A rooftop view, one window, and just enough space for hope. Ryan visited her often, bringing books, takeout, and that warm smile she had fallen for. One evening, as they stood by her window, watching the city lights flicker, Leah whispered, "I feel like I'm finally living my life, not someone else's version of it." He kissed her forehead. "You're not alone anymore." They talked about their future. Ryan wanted to write a book, something real, something timeless. Leah dreamed of opening a small art studio where kids could come and paint freely. "It won't be easy," she said. "It'll be worth it," Ryan replied. They didn't have much, but they had each other, and sometimes that's more than enough. Bills piled up. Ryan worked late hours freelancing while trying to write. Leah took commissions, gave private art lessons, and sometimes went days without rest. They argued about money, about time, about whether they'd made the right choice. One night after a bitter argument, Leah cried into her sketchbook. "This isn't the fairy tale I imagined," she sobbed. Ryan sat beside her. Fairy tales don't show the hard parts. But this is the love story that matters. She looked up, eyes red. Then let's keep writing it. Slowly things changed. Ryan sold a short story to a magazine. Leah was invited to paint a mural at a local school. They celebrated every win, no matter how small. Ice cream for $2 at the bodega. Dancing barefoot in the living room when a payment came through. Falling asleep in each other's arms with dreams bigger than their bed. They were building something, not just a life, but a legacy. 2 years later, Ryan finished his novel. It was called Subway Girl, a story of fate, choice, and the woman with the red scarf who changed his life. He handed the first copy to Leah. "For you," he said. "Your every word," she cried, and kissed him. Later, she painted a cover design for it. Bold, abstract, and entirely Leah. They self-published it. It didn't go viral, but it found readers, because real stories always find hearts to live in. Ryan didn't need a ring. One snowy evening, just like the day they first met, he brought her back to the same subway station, same car, same spot. He looked at her and smiled. "I don't have a grand plan, just a simple question." He pulled out a tiny box with a ring he'd saved months for. "Will you be the person I ride through life with, no matter where it takes us?" Leah didn't cry this time. She laughed through her tears. "Yes," she said. 1,000 subway rides. Yes. They got married in a small rooftop garden with 20 friends, paper lanterns, and laughter. No fancy dress, no pomp, just love, and a song Leah had painted into her vows. "You're the reason I stopped waiting for life to happen. You're the reason I started living it." Years later, Ryan stood at a book event. His latest novel was a hit. Leah's art studio had helped hundreds of kids find their voice. He opened his speech with, "I met the love of my life on a subway. I didn't know her name, but I knew I had to find her, and I did. And that made all the difference." In the back, Leah stood holding their son, curly hair, wide eyes. As Ryan spoke, the boy asked, "Is Mommy really the subway girl?" Leah whispered, "Always. Love doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it's a look across a train, a red scarf, a feeling you can't shake, and when you follow it, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, it takes you somewhere beautiful, not perfect, but real, and real is where love lives." Thanks for watching. Hoped you liked it. If you watched till the end, please comment love so that we could understand you were with us till the end. As well as, please let us know where are you watching from. Before leaving, please hit the subscribe button, comment your thought, and share with your nearest and dearest one. See you in the next one. Until to the next one, spread love.